and welcome back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I've created Magic and Miracles in order to help people of all walks of life achieve their manifestation goals. All the information from me is below. Apologies for the confusion. The previous link was not working, so I had to recreate this link for this live. So this will be the new link of the live that you will be watching. The topic of today is how to make a player fall in love. Okay, so I want to really quick update everybody on how to get into my coaching because I keep talking about it in audios. And now that I'm live, I have the opportunity of really covering some steps. So we've discussed installment payments, and I already recorded an audio earlier today. But just to reiterate, you can get installment payments to pay for your coaching for up to 36 months. I think that's fabulous. I wasn't even aware of that being available and possible. And so after doing some math yesterday, I wanted to just put this in perspective for everybody, how really affordable it really is if you commit the time to it, if you show up prepared and ready to work. So as I was talking about in my audio, for 3 months of coaching, which I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching, which is $29.50 for each month, the total is $88.50. Okay, so if you break it down to 36 months, let's just say the maximum amount of time that you really need to pay for this, it turns out to be like less than $250 a month. Now, you won't need that type of time, okay? So you will obviously end up manifesting money in my coaching. People shift in my coaching all of the time. But just think of it that it's $250 per month, okay? That's what it really comes down to. And that's no excuse for you not to be able to get help if you really need help, okay? Now, of course, it's pending approval. It's Klarna and Affirm. But so far, I've had great experiences with them. They've been very helpful. And so there's no excuse not to get my coaching. Okay, so that's one. And the other thing is that the most confusing part for people, I suppose, was how to sign my coaching agreement. Okay, you really need to print the coaching agreement and sign it by hand with your pen. Okay, that's the only way I will accept the coaching agreements. It cannot be signed on a computer. It cannot be any other way. You need to print that coaching agreement. You need to print your name, you need to sign your name, and you need to date it by hand, okay? So if you cannot scan it for whatever reason, I sympathize if you're technologically, challenged, just like I am. This is why I'm restarting the live. The previous link, whatever, I had a problem with it, and I needed to start a new one. I sympathize, but as a last resort, I will accept a clear picture of the coaching agreement. So I hope this is clear, okay, how to get into coaching. You really need to pre-book, okay? You need to book ahead. If you need to make up your mind whether I'm the right coach for you, you need to first book one session, okay? One session, and then ultimately the idea is to embark on this journey of month-to-month coaching. 2 to 3 months is what I recommend, okay? So wherever my moderator is at this moment, I don't know. I'm not sure. So since I had to restart it with a new link, I hope she finds it. I can't really text her right now. But today we will be discussing, Katvi, if you're here, wave your blue wrench, please. So today's topic is a very juicy topic, and we've discussed this in the past, but I really wanted to bring this to your attention for those of you who are in a situation with your specific person where they are a player. Okay, somebody who is disrespectful to you, somebody who is cheating. So, hi, Zara. Everybody who's watching, parenthesis here, please thumb up so that my live can be watched by a lot of people and this message can be spread. Okay. You're in a situation where you're not being acknowledged, that USP is putting you last on the list. They're cheated on you, they lied to you, you're not a priority. Okay, this is a cycle that continues repeating itself in your romantic relationships for a very good reason. Like if I ask you, if you're in session with me and let's just say we examine your relationships, you will see that this is not an isolated incident. Okay, it just gets progressively worse, is what it is. But this is not the only time you got your heart broken by somebody who is just not prioritizing you. Okay, they're assholes. Okay, quite frankly. And what you have to understand is that really holding grudges and unforgiveness is not, the name of the game here. The name of the game is to come out triumphant and to really understand why this is happening. Why this is happening is that you have the consciousness of a victim who does not right now decide for other people in her or his life what's going to happen. We've been brainwashed since very early on, okay, since a young age, that you're not in charge, it's not about you. So I'm here to dispel all that fucking bullshit and tell you it is about you. And the minute you start addressing the core issue that either you are playing victim on some kind of level or you're playing the superhero magician, that's entirely your choice, but you will experience in both cases the aftermath of what it is that you are. Who you are is how you're vibrating. Hi, Kat. Thank goodness. I'm so sorry I had to start a new link. You know me, a technology, blah, blah, blah. We're here. Everybody's here. We made it. Thank you, Katvi, for being here. We'll figure out that other thing later. Hi, hi. Thank you for being here, Kat. Katya, I should say. I like Katya more. So either you're a victim, it's a very kind of like, diametrically opposed scenario. Either you're playing a victim or you're playing the superhero magician. But in both cases, you will arrive at a reality. It's like Jim Rohn used to say, in 5 years, for sure you're going to end up somewhere. But where is another story. Anyway, so whether or not you reach your goal, therefore, is entirely up to you. This is why I'm having these lives, so you guys can see my face and ask your questions. And so your job entirely becomes about two things: understanding why so far this has been a shit show, and really taking that knowledge, and this is what we're doing coaching, taking that knowledge to the bank, okay? Taking that knowledge to the bank and arriving at a very profound realization like, holy shit bananas, I've been creating it all thus far. Even that player that is showing up right now in your world, in whatever capacity, is basically the outpicturing of your insecurities, of your worries, of your fears. So what a beautiful opportunity to confront your fears, okay? They're showing up for a reason, for you to dismantle them completely, for you to actually realize you're the one feeding these fears. They're unexamined and they're showing up in people that you care about the most. This is why primarily the community of the people who seek their SP back, they don't understand that this is just a symptom. It's not really about your SP. It's about something completely different that has everything to do with you. So this person in your life will show up as a player, in other words, as long as you have this insecurity about yourself. So let me tell you a story, and I've told this story before, but it kind of like will depict and symbolize how easy it really is. Now, at that time, I was, let me see, my first real boyfriend, as you call it, with intimacy and such, was when I was 16. And I told you the story before. He was a party goer, a womanizer, you name it, like rock and roll kind of person who knew a lot of already I was kind of via him and via my mother, because my mother was, anyway, she dated somebody who, I don't need to drop names right now, but she dated somebody really famous at some point, a couple of people. Anyway, so I was in that soup and I met this guy who I knew his kind of like situation from other girls. He was the talk of the town, but he was like the hot shit. kind of deal. And I was not impressed. Like by age 16, me, I was like, I've traveled France, I've traveled Italy, I've lived there. I was not easily impressed. I was not an easily impressed teenager to begin with, but it's me, rock and roll. Yeah, okay. And so he was into Pink Floyd and all these kind of bullshit. Not that Pink Floyd is bullshit. It's the greatest music ever written, in my opinion. But he was the hot shit. He was the talk of the town. And when it became apparent that he liked me, okay, and he wanted to ask me out, I heard it from several people, and he was afraid to approach me. Okay, so already, right? So my kind of energy was working, and I said to myself, if he was to approach me and if we were to ever go out, if we were to date, he is not going to be acting this way. This is not the kind of situation that I will accept. Like, unknowingly, like at that moment, I mean, at 16, I didn't really know about manifestation. I just knew every single thing that I wrote down in scripting, and I didn't know what scripting was, would come true. And so, wouldn't you know, long story short, we started dating. This guy, seriously, was so much about me. It was a little bit like obnoxious. It was a lot obnoxious. Okay. I completely did not accept anything that I heard about him. I did not give a shit, give a flying fuck for 1 second. I simply said to myself, this guy is going to be head over heels in love with me. And whatever he did with other girls and this and that, that is no longer. He is now belonging to me. And this is the only fucking way that I will play this game. When I'm telling you, he became possessive. Like, it was a little too much. This is why, like, I teach people energy work, because I did do some energy work, but I mean, being 16, I was inexperienced, and I had just like learned it from my grandmother. And basically, it was too much. So you have to be careful as far as what's and how you're doing it. Okay, with what energy. This is why I'm so adamant about, you have to take care of your energy first. You have to learn your own energy. You have to unprocess some drama. Okay, because no doubt at that point, I still was very much under the kind of like the spell of my mother's drama that I had to go through, unfortunately. So when you're doing the energy work and your intentions are going out, they can very much be polluted by your former drama, mama drama panorama. So, in other words, he became obsessed, so obsessed that it was literally like very too obsessive, too jealous. It was all about me. I couldn't breathe basically in this relationship, and it became really unattractive to me. This is how kind of like how it progressed. And for me, I realized at that point even is that my life is about me. Okay, my life is about me. I have to go to New York. I have to pursue my whatever modeling career, this and that. And, that what I did was a kind of like a depiction, like I said, an illustration of what to do mentally. Okay. It should be up to you what you decide how this person will show up in your world. It should not be, let's see how they feel about me. Or, really freaking out and really worrying and really stressing about what girl looks in which way. Who gives a shit who looks like what? First of all, looks aren't everything. Okay. And I, for one, had never had an illusion in my mind that I was like the most beautiful woman in the world or anything. I knew I wasn't. I didn't give a shit about that. I didn't care for 1 second. Okay. And it wasn't because I was insecure. I was just like, well, I obviously know I'm not the most beautiful woman in the world, but that's not even necessary. What is necessary is why looks aren't everything, because the most beautiful person, traditionally speaking, right? Classically beautiful person can be the most dull and boring and really unattractive person, therefore, because their energy is insecure, their energy is codependent, or whatever. Now, I'm not saying that if you're experiencing codependency right now, you cannot become attractive, but understand your energy right now is not attractive, right? So it has nothing to do with how you look, what age you are. you know what I mean? Like all these things, it has to do with vibration. You go back to vibration. The only time you're entitled to turning a player around into the most faithful and loving husband or whatever, you know, it is that you want them to be. Maybe you just want a relationship. You don't want to get married. I don't know. Is your energy. Your energy needs to be crystal clear. Your intention needs to be crystal clear. And you need to be convinced yourself that this is in fact possible for you. Now, this is something I dive deep into every single, you know, session with my clients to further advance you towards the accomplishment of that conviction that you are that powerful. People throw this around like so easily. Oh yeah, you're so powerful, you're so powerful. But what does this really mean? What does this really mean? Do you really know how powerful you are? Do you really know that you could do this? This is not just a clickbait title. I'm talking from experience. I have stories like this, you know, a couple more stories like that where, now listen, you have to want to do this, right? Not only, I mean, you could do this for fun if you believe you can do it and achieve great results. But you want to also, you have to also want to do this, okay? If you really don't care about this person, and in some cases in my life, you know, it was a fucking turnoff, okay? The way that some people behaved, I was so fucking turned off. I didn't want to have anything to do with them. So clearly, I did not want them back. But in some cases, you will find that, yeah, all right, I could do without their, you know, philandering bullshit. And I can very much see how if this person just changes their mind and finally settles down with me, that if I convince him or her that they could do it, you don't need to do it in the 3D though. Okay? Listen to me now. 3D is like a crime scene. Okay? It's very much like a crime scene. Do not touch anything. Do not involve yourself with it unless you want to be involved with drama. Don't get involved in the 3D if it's not pleasing to you. Okay, just look at it for information purposes. This is what had happened so far. What can I take away in order for it to benefit me? So, all right, so they've gone with this one and the other one. Maybe they're hot and cold with you right now, even. Maybe they're keeping another lover on the side and you're aware of them. Maybe whatever the situation is. Number one, let's start out with this. Excuse me, I need my tea. Look at my tea today. It's so red and pretty. Raspberry. Like I said in the audio, you've allowed the situation to happen because you don't know how powerful you really are. You've allowed the situation to happen because of your mama drama panorama. You've allowed the situation to happen because you don't believe in yourself, you're insecure. Because you think secretly, or not so secretly, that somebody else is better than you. And you're not all that. Let's just face it. You would not put up with this bullshit. You would not continue creating this bullshit if you thought that you were the only one. The only one material. Whatever that means. But I'm just saying, if you really vibrated as the person of his or her dreams, and by the way, again, parenthesis here, you don't need to be perfect. In other words, what the fuck is even perfection? You don't need to be perfect somehow to deserve to be the one and only. In your mind, you have to reach the state of, yeah, duh, of course, they're going to choose me. I always get chosen. You know why? Because you're choosing yourself. Okay? In order for them to choose you, you need to choose yourself. You need to accept yourself as like, if I'm choosing somebody, if I'm going with somebody, they're choosing me too. But the fact that they're not is something broken in the mechanism of your mind where you think that you don't deserve it somehow. You're not giving it to yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, leave that motherfucker out of the picture completely. Give yourself that commitment. Like, a lot of people in my coaching, especially women, they want commitment. It's the easiest shit in the world to do. Really, I mean it. Your only impediment is your thinking that you cannot do it. Somehow you really need to reach that state, like I already said. And I'm very good at that because day after day in my coaching, we meet 3 times per week. And during that time, we will literally massage your brain into new thinking. We examine your beliefs, we reconstruct them, construct new ones. and construct new expectations. What is my default expectation? Okay, like I'll give you a real quick example. I already also gave it on my channel, but a long time ago, I told a story when I first came to New York. Nobody wanted to book me for modeling gigs, okay? But nobody wanted to book me because I was so shy and I was quiet. I know it's hard to believe right now, but I was really shy. I was this like Russian girl, super skinny, this kind of story. And I wouldn't get booked for the jobs. And I was like crying, going home crying, eating pizza, to comfort me. And I realized at some point, like, I wish somebody fucking told me this, but I realized at some point, I'm like, you know why these girls get picked? Because they just have the confidence. They're not prettier than me, surely. I mean, I could see it, They're not prettier than me. They're not smarter than me. They're not, they're not more capable than me. Nothing like that. I need to stand up and grow a pair and become confident and demand that every single time that I go for a casting, I will get picked. And it took me a little bit, like it didn't happen overnight, okay? So I want to manage expectations. But I ended up convincing my mind so much so that I will be chosen and I will be, every single time I will be chosen, I will be appreciated. People are only looking at me. That was one of my kind of like things that I would prime my mind. They're only looking at me. Nobody else is in the room. I'm getting picked every single time. You know what's so scary though? Not scary as in like, ooh, but today, every single time I walk outside, and I've said this to my clients, my subconscious mind is already programmed on such a level that even when I don't look my best, even when I don't have any makeup on, men and women look at me like I'm a superstar. Okay? Now you're gonna say, oh yeah, you're so pretty, boo boo boo. We all have our days when, you know what I mean? Like you're just kind of not feeling all that hot kind of deal, that time of the month or whatever. They're still looking at me. And sometimes I'm pissed off, like, why the fuck are you looking at me? I don't even look so hot right now, But that's how you program your mind, where the outside kind of like reflection, the computer program obeys you, even though you don't look so hot. Okay, my guy I met when I looked my worst. Okay, the first meeting, it wasn't a first date or anything. It was by chance that we met. Anyway, let's not have this discussion now. But I was makeupless. Okay, in you could say in my like kind of like gym clothes and this and that. Absolute worst scenario, but still. He was glued to me. His eyes were like glued to my face, like he couldn't stop looking at me. So that's what I'm talking about, this kind of confidence when you're consistently choosing yourself. Now, here's what I really have to kind of like drive home. You as a person are a superstar inside. You really are. I'm not just saying that to flatter you or whatever. You really need to discover that superstar, just the way that you are. The reason why you may be struggling right now is because you're trying to be somebody you're not. You're inauthentic. You're afraid to be exactly who you are. Maybe you're ashamed of some traits. Maybe. Somehow you're making yourself inadequate. When you really accept yourself, when you harmonize with yourself, when you validate yourself and accept the value that you hold in this world, irregardless of what happened, irregardless of what has happened so far, give yourself this divinity, this divine power back by accepting how magnificent you truly are. You have no idea the kinds of miracles that will happen in your life. Because if you are trying to be somebody else, the universe will just not support you all the way. You're trying to be a different shape, a different vibration. For example, if you are not validating yourself, even the anger part, even the insecurity part, even the drama mama panorama needs to be validated because it's a part of creation, it's a part of you. So all of it is valid, all of it is beautiful. Stop fighting with yourself, stop finding fault with yourself, congratulate yourself, and really deliver this gratitude for who you really are. This is really mandatory for you guys to hear, because I see this over and over in my coaching, how people are really so hard on themselves, even though they really are good at sugarcoating it, like how hard they are on themselves, always finding fault with themselves, always blaming themselves, even though the other person is at fault. All this bullshit. You need to drop this shit. You need to become your biggest motherfucking fan. But stop pretending to be a victim. Stop pretending to be powerless. Stop pretending to be less than. Okay? It's like, how do they say? You trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. That's what you're trying to be. And that's why you're having issues, because you're not being your authentic shape. When you're your authentic shape and you validate yourself, your faults and all, trust me, in my coaching, like these people that come into my coaching are so fucking wonderful. I'm blown away. So you're not at fault as much as you think you are. You were taught to think that, okay, by people in the past, by your past lovers, by your mama drama panorama, as I say, but it isn't the truth. In 99% of the chance of the cases, rather, it isn't true. You've been taught a lie, and you continue buying into it today. But you see how, like, on automatic pilot you do it, and you don't even notice, but your program keeps reproducing the bullshit. It doesn't know any better. It doesn't know to just change itself because that's what's better for you. No, you need to change it. Again, grow up here and start making changes. So the way that, one second, let me just refer to my notes. So the way to choose yourself and for them to start choosing you is that you need to, again, arrange it in your mind that that's what they're doing. So it doesn't matter, again, how long you've been doing this. It doesn't matter how long they've been like this. In your mind, on a day such as today, you need to completely recalibrate what has been happening thus far, give it a new meaning. Guys, hold on one second. I will read all the comments. I'm just on a roll, okay, as far as channeling. So bear with me, please. I'm going to answer everything, so don't worry. In your mind, you have to rearrange the idea of this person as somebody who just got off track. Okay, somebody who got influenced by some dumbass idea of that it's cool to be a womanizer, or it's cool to do this, or that this is even permissible, or that you would go along with this. So now, if you want to really send a message to this person, okay, you need to start making drastic moves. I hate to say it to you, but if you want the shortcut, I'm giving it to you. Now, this is a general idea. Your situation may be different. So, don't just like watch a live and go make changes. Every situation is different. So best idea is to come into coaching with me, at least for a session, so I can give you my honest take. But drastic moves are necessary. Why? Because parting with bullshit needs to happen cold turkey. I mean, on a day such as today is as good a day as any to start creating changes. So job one would be not accept the situation anymore. And if that means you disconnect from this person and crack your whip and put your foot down like, hey, motherfucker, I'm going to respect myself. And this kind of situation that you've been putting me through, quite frankly, really making me feel less than, making me feel less wanted, et cetera, isn't flying in my reality anymore. Yes, I welcomed it before, I created, I manifested it, blah, 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 blah. Because, like, not for nothing, a lot of people blame themselves based on just this manifestation bullshit. Like, yeah, I manifested it, so it's my fault. Yeah, okay, but now what? Now what are you going to do, right? The action in the 3D is very much necessary for you to make changes that are visible. So if you're putting up with less than treatment, well, that's what you're doing in 3D. So stop doing that would be job one, and then go to manifest a better future, don't you think? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Disconnecting from this person, for instance, and whilst you're in my coaching and whilst we're working with you on your new mindset, on your new energy, on everything now that you're going to be expecting, you will see that this person will not only fucking return and beg you and be with you and want to marry you and propose to you, but that you will even like wonder what the fuck happened to the other version. It will be as if this was always this way and you needed to realize your worth, and then everything came, together. Okay? So choosing yourself means you're validating your worth, you validating everything that you're feeling, your wants and needs. Again, oftentimes I hear in my coaching, well, am I too needy? Well, is this too much? What's too much? What is too much? Nothing is too much. Too much is to put up with bullshit. That's what's too much. Okay? Too much is to be choosing to worry, is too much, to stress yourself out. It's not too much to really ask for what you really need. That's what your needs are. You're entitled to those fucking needs. Choosing yourself is making yourself a priority. Not them. Oh, what are they doing? Who are they with? But who the fuck cares? You need to command a new reality into existence by not giving a shit what's on in the 3D. Like I said, it's a crime scene. Leave it the fuck alone. Don't get involved. Okay, let me start reading all the comments that came. Hold on. Ketvi, thank you for doing such an excellent job. Holy shit, bananas. So many. Okay, hi. Girly, something, hello. Okay, whatever. Some haters came first. Hello from Istanbul. Hi, Zara. Hi, Jen. Alpha Leon. Alpha Leon. I like you. You're smart and beautiful. Thank you. Oh, Katya Oracle. Oh, here you are, superstar. You figured it out. I love it. This guy is asking me, do you believe in manifestation? Okay, can pigs fly? Next question. Kyle, I love you. Okay. Big Papa Frog. Hey, I am a wounded vet and just started back in the gym. I'm very proud of myself. Good for you, darling. There you go. Here's a positive attitude. Katya says, geez, they're out today. Yeah, I know. This is what, listen, I was held up by a session, but anyway, Katya's text came at the right time because I was switching her accounts as a moderator, and she texts me like, hey, I can't, something, my wrench isn't working. And anyway, it's all a universe orchestration why I came on late because she wasn't here yet. She didn't have her wrench yet. Anyway, Mama Drama Panorama. Yeah, get familiar with my vocabulary. Big Papa Frog. I think you will enjoy it very much. LXNA. You're pretty. Thank you. There's like 3 pages of comments. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Katya says, misalignment of self, right. How can we manifest fast? Spark Boy to hear. Listen to my channel. Or better yet, get into coaching. That's how you manifest fast. BD, hello. Katya's Oracle, we need to adjust ourselves like going to a chiropractor. That's right. Cooper, were you surprised? I think that comment came around the time when nobody was choosing me and as a model. Was I surprised? I didn't have any point of reference to be surprised. BD, that's a great testimony. Okay, Kali Swag Girl, hi. BD, wow, these are powerful words. Thank you. These words are speaking to me right now. The timing is so perfect. Okay, cool. Let me see. So many people today. Violet, girl, you're so pretty. Thank you. Bucket list, are you married? Not yet. Almost. BD, I don't know what you do or where you are, but I stopped off here and your words are speaking to me. I gained so much weight in 2020, which affected my life negatively on so many levels. Yeah, you need to subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. Aiden, hi, hi. Beber, hey, pretty lady, hey. Manny, hi from Buffalo. Hello, Buffalo. I'm here, but no wrench. Oh, Katya, I don't know why that is because I did the same exact thing as I did last time. We're gonna have to figure that out. But not right now, okay? BD, I've been making excuses since 2020. What's happening to me? I used to be such a wonderful person, bursting with energy and vitality. I need a big kick in the touche. Oh, I can do that. That's a job for me. That's a job for me. I give great kick in the asses in my coaching, metaphorically speaking, if you need one. So get into coaching with me. As far as the weight, you know what? We've all been down that road. I've been down that road. I mean, I recently, like in 1 month, I challenged myself. I lost 20 pounds. I look better than ever, if I do say so myself, without like just, it has to do with mentality and it has to do with focus. So apart from doing like one meal a day, I just, I walked a lot but focused, visualized, determination. In 1 month, you could do that, get back into shape. Okay, let's see who else you're saying behind you. Thank you. Okay, back to my notes. So choosing yourself, becoming a priority. You need to be the priority. Your life needs to be the priority to you. What others are doing, honestly, you don't give a shit. Why? Because it's not about them in your life. It's about you in your life. So look at this. When the energy is going out, 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 you're going to be depleted. When you're relying on other people's confirmation of your worth, of your value, there's going to be no end to that. Okay, this is why for me, like for instance, my channel, I channel everything, right? People always ask me, what is channeling? Just putting myself in the zone that I have a connection to my higher self, to the universe, and channeling the message that's coming through. Do you think I give a shit who's going to say what? I mean, I'm coming with the intention to help, and that's what I'm saying, but I'm totally being myself. I deliver the message the way that I want to deliver it because I feel it within my heart that that's the right thing to do. The energy is about what I want to say, how I want to express it, because it's been given to me. So in the same way, and this is the only way to success, parenthesis here, just being authentically yourself. So when you turn the energy arrows around to you, onto yourself, and you say, I matter, okay? How I feel matters. My needs matter and are valid. I need to invest in my business. I need to invest in myself. I need to do this, that, and the other. I need to go take care of this because it makes me feel happy. You have no idea what you're doing energetically. You really, really don't, because it's kind of like the billions of dollars are coming in, vibrationally speaking, into your account. And now you're wealthy, energetically speaking. And now people are fucking attracted to you. They're coming out of the woodworks, apologies, and the money, and the this and the that. But no, you're not attractive, energetically speaking, when you are outwardly positioned. And when you're worried about even a player of players, it could be, and you're not fucking worried because it means nothing. It just means a representation of some kind of a fear that this person is bringing to your attention and is saying, look at this. This is something to process. This is something to look at. Okay. So for instance, you guys know I've been married twice. When I was divorcing my second husband, a lot had come up, okay, from the time when, I married him at around the time when I just had begun doing my work. And of course, when you're just beginning to do your work, there's residue of stuff that, hasn't been dealt with. And as a result, we ended up getting married. I quickly realized it was the wrong decision. And we separated. I mean, within a year, I was done inside. But the point of it is that sometime later, after we already separated, I needed a divorce. He was giving me a hard time. And through that interaction, I realized, wow, I'm such a different person now. This person that I attracted, like, almost at that point, like almost a decade ago, like it's crazy, at least 8 years or something, 7 or 8 years prior, I was like, wow, I was a completely different person, always catering to somebody, always like people pleasing, always doing dumb shit. No wonder my dating history prior to that was a shit show. They're always getting all over me, on over me. But now that I'm in this position, and I was clearly, at that point, like I said, 7 or 8 years were already dating other people and interacting with people. The difference for me between that Anna that married that person and this asshole, and this Anna now that was not for a single moment really influenced by the nastiness and all the crazy shit. He's a narcissist, but that's another story for another time. I was not going to deal with this bullshit. And I realized how hurtful that used to be for me to hear those words and the criticism and the, all the shit that they try, and how unaffected I was. Completely unaffected. And I was like, wow, I've come a long motherfucking way. Because the kind of men that I would attract, they were completely different. And some men I've revised, like I said, some men I've redone completely. If it suited me, if that's what I wanted. But be careful of not processing the trauma and drama panorama, because it's going to show up in people. Like I said, I used to not choose myself. When I started choosing myself, like even in my marriage, I don't think he realized what was happening to me, because I told him, I'm like, I am in the process of becoming a different person. I have these projects. I had just created my company, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he realized what was happening with me energetically, because he was still doing the same old shit as when, we first met. We knew each other for a while. I was not the same person, and he very much had a problem with it. But look at this: you don't owe anybody an apology, an approval. They don't need to give you an approval. They don't need any explanation for you to become exactly who you want to be, because your destiny is on another level. So the same way you happen to be now in the situation, and this is a dramatic, example. This is just an example from my own life, how it can really affect you. But today you can look at your situation and realize, oh yes, this is because I allowed it. I allowed this drama to drag on as much as it has. I know it's wrong. I know it's bullshit. I know I've done nothing about it. Okay? I know I continue putting up with it. Stop putting up with it in the physicality. It took, like, even the year and a half that it finally took me to gather up my courage and say, you know what, I think we fucking need to divorce over here. I think, yeah, this is over. Because people procrastinate these things, all the while draining themselves of energy. Stop draining yourself of energy. Put the focus on yourself. Invite a different version of that person into your life if you still want them. If you still want them, you have to genuinely want them. If you don't, and if you find out that you don't in my coaching, that's okay too. That was meant to happen. It's an orchestration all the way. Let me just see what the people are saying in the comments. Hola. Katie Hart, hi. Everybody's fascinated by my looks. That's very nice. Thank you. What up, gang? Jelen. Okay. So choose yourself. Choose what you want to do. You'll be the perfect shape and vibration to attract miracles and the versions of people and events that you really deserve. If you yourself are not vibrating as like, wait a minute, I forgot to be somebody. I forgot to be me. Okay? There's somebody you forgot to be. There's an energy you forgot to be. This divinity is always with you. When you're acting as less than, you experience less than circumstances. And here are some points that I always come up with for you guys for my lives. Number one, for those note takers, which I know are a lot, you don't have to shout your power. In other words, you don't have to do anything in 3D. You don't have to do anything in the 3D other than disconnecting from abuse, disconnecting from something that you don't want to experience anymore. In other words, if somebody's involving you into drama, if somebody is involving you in a third party situation or boo, 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 say no, cut that shit off. Okay? Oh yeah, what's that? Another person? Good luck to you. Have fun. In other words, clean slate. Do not bother people pleasing for 1 second. People pleasing just doesn't work. You will never get the results that you want to get through people pleasing. Just understand that. Unlearn it, unlearn the dysfunctional way of operating and learn the functional way of operating. Okay? You need to exude the silent dominance. It's like my way or the motherfucking highway. Okay? But be benevolent, of course, and understand that you're not overriding anybody's free will. You are working with your own energy, and in your world, everything will be according to your plan. In somebody else's world, it will be according to their plan. But you're not interested, again, in what anybody else is doing. You're interested in what you're doing, and that's it. If you're vibrating as the only one, you have this vibration, you will be the only one. That's what you will be experiencing. If you're scared of attracting a third party, the third party will show up like clockwork because you're the god of your reality. You're in charge. That you don't know that you're in charge is a different story, but you're in charge all the way through. Okay? They will get this telepathic message once you're no longer freaking out, vibrationally speaking, and no longer sending them these vibrations that speak loud and clear, energetically speaking. I'm insecure, don't choose me, I want you to go with a third party. I mean, this is literally what you're instructing them to do. When you're afraid of somebody else showing up, somebody else will show up. And in your mind, they will be better than you, but nobody's better than you, and you need to understand that. Again, you need to understand how fucking genius and how fucking one of a kind you really are. You really, really are. It's not just, for me to say some pretty words on my channel. It's because it's true, and the fact that you don't realize it, again, is the very problem. Number 3, again, conviction of your own mind. However, your mind needs to get convinced. Again, I work on this in my coaching. Based on your own mama drama panorama, you need to turn that shit around. Based on your drama that you've experienced, I will customize my coaching to you in order for your own mind to buy into something different being possible. But you yourself, it's an inside house job. You yourself are going to have to establish once and for all how powerful you are. And the example that came to mind when I was writing the notes for my life, it's like, Alice in Wonderland, when she's in this room and she's eating soaps and whatever else, is like, eat me. And she's eating and she's like becoming super, super tall and big. Drink me. And then she's like shrinking down to like a very tiny version of herself. It's like this. If you understand, it's a placebo effect, in demonstration, all that jazz. But if you just understand that the biggest motherfucking placebo is your mind, that you can decide, okay? Again, the preparation on the way to the decision and the conviction is the work, okay, that you're doing based on what you experience. So now you're kind of like recalibrating your mind. But that it is going to happen if you convince yourself that it's going to happen. That's all that needs to happen. Okay, so in other words, without your decision, without you being convinced that, yeah, he was a player, but he met me and now he's head over heels in love with me. I mean, literally, you could sit down and say that. I've said that about a couple of people in my life, and they have transformed because I was, again, not willing to buy into their bullshit that on the surface, it seems like that's the situation. But if I don't accept it, I have the right to mold it. If I accept it, it's a done deal. I can't do anything to it because it's just now in stone. But if I don't accept it, I have a chance to mold it into some different shape, whatever I please to do with it. So I hope this makes sense. It's up to you to create, to be who you want to be vibrationally, and for others to be who you want them to be. Does that make sense? It's up to you to vibrate as you want to vibrate, and for others to respond similarly. Okay, let me read some comments. Antonio Vasquez, I made a little mistake. What's that? Christian Soldier 777. Okay. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whatsoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. John 3:16. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And welcome to this church service. I'm just kidding. Oh, sorry, 1 second. BD, this live is so amazing. Feels like a hug. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Didn't start out so smooth because my link went somewhere else. But anyway, LQ says, so true. Okay. Levi Briggs, can I have a shout out to France? Shout out to France. Where in France are you? I love France so much. Hold on 1 sec. So, what was the other one? Conviction of mind. Use whatever. And again, the magic, the energy work that I teach in my coaching is very powerful, but it works off of your energy. In other words, if you're not convinced you're powerful, if you're not validating yourself, you don't have as much power. You need to be totally in love with yourself in the most benevolent, healthy sense. Like, I love you. I really, really love you. Like Louise Hay has this really lovely, way of used to have, because she's no longer with us, obviously, but she had this really amazing way of delivering to people how you should really accept yourself, be in love with yourself, in not a narcissistic sense, but in a very healthy, like, acceptance. Like, I love this about you and I love that about. Do you know, again, how much that builds your confidence and how much that builds your energy? You become mega attractive. You become mega magnetic, because it means that you approve of yourself. The world has no other choice but to approve of you. But again, it's done with a health, with a healthy dose of humility. But at the same time, you need to validate yourself. So it's a delicate balance. But and again, more than happy to help you out with this in coaching. But that you've forgotten to love yourself, that you've forgotten to be who you really are. That's a given. This is why the situation. So convincing of the mind that you could be this powerful. The energy work, by the way, is something that I teach in my coaching that will literally get you your way every single time. But again, your slate needs to be clean, and you have to be really empowered and appreciate yourself for who you really are. Again, not in a boastful way, not in a whatever destructive way. Okay, if you're doing good for people, if you're a good person, if you're not into fucking people up, appreciate yourself. Okay, if being in love with yourself sounds really harsh in your ears right now, just appreciate yourself. Okay, for everything you do and for everything you are. Number 4, pull back and decide he's absolutely miserable without you. This is a must do. Because you're buying into this idea right now that, oh, if you leave them alone, they're going to go with somebody else. Well, first of all, that this idea is created by your mind. We already discussed this. They're not going to go anywhere unless you make them go somewhere, meaning with your mind. Okay, so pulling back to rearrange the structure of this relationship, in my opinion, is a must do. How on earth else will they get the fucking message that this party is over, this is not how we're going to play anymore? And if you are going to lose them over this, then so be it. But you're not. The paradox is that you're not. Okay? If being yourself means you'll lose somebody, then maybe this energy isn't supposed to be in your life anymore. However, most probably what will happen is that this person will start gaining more respect for you. Okay? They will start paying attention to you more. Even if it takes them some time to rethink the situation, they will appreciate you so much so. And in the process of becoming your number one biggest fan, okay, you yourself, and vibrating as the only one, and that's the only way I roll, they will come back and make that themselves that person in your life. But if you're just putting up with how things are, it's never going to end. It's going to continue the same way. Okay, so don't be afraid to disconnect. Don't be afraid to make it known, hey, I'm playing this game by entirely different rules. And I don't care if I lose you. You have to get to a point where you have to part with this fear. The fear will hold you completely, powerless in the situation. And because this timeline is constructed in such a way where the fear is part of the program, you're looking for total freedom. You're looking for things going your way entirely, where there is no fear. If you're the motherfucking boss of your reality, tell me, what fear are you looking at? Fear is a distraction entirely, distraction and destruction, okay? Entirely, you need to part with the fear because you're so magnetic at that moment when you're not afraid of anything that people and that person will for sure start to wonder what the fuck has changed with her, what the fuck has changed with him, that she's so solidly confident, like the motherfucking Central Park oak tree, nothing moves her. Holy shit bananas, I better go and check it out. Okay, because before you were a doormat, let's just face it, but now you have standards, so that's more interesting. I mean, in a nutshell and bluntly put. Okay, so deciding that he's absolutely miserable without you, and with the energy work I can teach you exactly how to do that. You deciding for them telepathically what they're going to think about the changes you've just made is also everything. Just like you've decided in the past that they might go off to somebody else and marry somebody else and it came true, or choose somebody else and boom, 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 boom. In the same manner, you need to rewire the entire fucking shebang and your mind and expectancy. And guess what? You say who you say you are. You say what your life is. And that will become your resistance towards that, though, is the dysfunction you are used to living, and it got out pictured in your life. So it's a little bit harder for you maybe to accept the good stuff. Okay, for a people pleaser, it's very hard to accept. It could just be regular, like this could just be regular life. Me getting my way is a regular life. I know, how boring. Okay, this is how it's supposed to be. But for you to accept it down to your core, that's what is important. Okay, this is how you really get your way. Hold on one second, let me read some comments. Oh my god, how do I read this? Oh, Jesus. Abder. Oh, Lord have mercy. Abdelrahman. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Fauzi. Okay. How can I tell if their feelings for me are genuine? Oh, that's a good one. Uh-huh. Well, I think it kind of goes back to whatever you want them to be, right? What's genuine? What's real? Like, we can have this discussion all day long, right? They're genuine if you want them to be genuine. Let's just put it this way. It's real if you want it to be real. And act on it and give energy to that reality and nothing else. That game freak, whatever that 3 is, I have no idea. BD, I met someone late last year that I want so bad, but I have so many hang-ups right now, vibrationally, excuse me, and physically. This person showed interest in me and it surprised me. Huh, so funny. That person showed interest in me and it surprised me. Well, there you go, darling. Excuse me. So you need to clear your hang-ups if you want to keep this relationship, or give it a proper go. All right, is my most genuine recommendation, because see, going into any relationship, you want to have your ducks in a row. So now that you're maybe finding out this, maybe even for the first time, I don't know, I have all sorts of people on my channel. Yeah, get your shit together first. And then it's a lot more of a smoother ride. It's a lot more of a fun ride to get what you want, rather than stumbling and doing all sorts of things. Like in my coaching, I ask that if we make a plan, you stick to the plan. There's no deviation. Why? Because first of all, I'm on your side 100 zillion percent. I want the best results for you. And I'm going to give you a shortcut of like how to achieve that in the least amount of time possible. But it's best that you do that first, figure out your own energy, your own insecurities, your own fears, deal with them, process them, and then you're far better equipped, far more qualified to dictate what's going to happen than if you're shaky and then it's like touch and go or back and forth, hot and cold, blah, blah, blah. Who the fuck has time for that? I mean, literally, you already spend enough time, doing certain things that were not so fun, right? Shahid Gomnam, good. Okay. Anna Tosca. I remember this name from somewhere. So true. That's thanks for telling it and try to make the fear of being alone smaller. So important. Yeah, you know what? The paradox is that when you're no longer afraid to be alone, that's like the boogie monster in some people's minds, right? Oh, I'm going to be alone. If it's not going to work with this person, it's going to work with nobody. Like, says who, first of all? It has to work on your terms. That's the number one concern. It's not about, the fear is not about being alone. The fear should be me not being my true self, not getting my happiness, but my own motherfucking rules. That should be the fear, okay? First things first. Because trust me when I tell you, where you're in full beast mode, meaning you're yourself 100% and you know exactly what you want, and you're not willing to accept anything less than, doesn't mean that you're going to be bitchy or unpleasant or nasty, but you're only going to accept self-respect, respect towards you. You respect yourself. There's this silent dominance again within you that does not tolerate any bullshit, and people feel it. It's like vibrating through your pores. Like just one look at them and they're like, what? Oh, what did I say? Oh. I have this effect on people in my life, like, Anna, please. I'm joking, but kind of. It should be like this, okay? Being alone is not so scary. And the paradoxical thing is that when you deal with that fear of being alone, as if that's even possible to be alone. First of all, you're never alone anyway, okay? You have your whole fucking squad of angels and guardian angels, but you'll say, Anna, yeah, but they're not physical. I get it. But the thing is, you'll never be able to be alone if you deal with your own bullshit. If you don't deal with your own bullshit, it's like you feel alone in a relationship anyway, because it's always one-sided. You always get the short end of the stick. And that's just, to me, it's even worse to be lonely in a relationship, okay, than to actually be alone and have the opportunity to process all the bullshit. But again, the paradox is that when you're not afraid to be alone anymore, you never will be. It goes out the window. It's like, again, for instance, I met my guy, and every single guy that I met actually in my life, I met somebody when I wasn't looking. I was literally not looking. Only one time in my life did I meet somebody online. Okay, and it was like a shocker. It was actually a decent person. Anyway, excuse me, 1 second. Excuse me. Let me read some comments. Anna, thank you. That was such a nice comment. Zara, but if we have a deep abandonment trauma and fear, it gets so hard to pull back from them. Yeah, of course. Exactly. Exactly. Abandonment trauma is real. I actually had to deal with it myself a long, long time ago. Yeah, like for 15 years ago now. And I realized I'm going to be okay. I'm actually better off to spend some time alone. Okay, right after my divorce, I had this like little moment. Hey, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not a failure. Everything's going to be fine. I'd rather not have this relationship ever again or anything like this. I'd rather stick it out a little bit, work on myself, and slowly, excuse me, ease back into dating and see what I attract. And when I saw that the change was so drastic, and because I was ready, I just felt in my heart and soul, I'm ready. I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of them, leaving me or anything like that. I've dealt with it all. I processed it. Okay. It's a lot more louder emotionally and vibrationally in your mind because of the past events. It's not based on what is in front of you. I just want to say that also, because a lot of people, what they see is amplified based on triggers, but the actual situation is not that bad. Okay, so I know it seems like a total disaster to you right now, but realize it's amplified based on the past experience. Okay. But the abandonment trauma, I've dealt with it myself, dealt with it in coaching with many, many, many people. It obviously comes from childhood, whether that's a parent or a guardian, what have you. But that's for you to deal with and then go out into the world and start expecting different things. So a lot of the times, again, the player will show up because you have that hang up. Okay, so it's showing you, it's giving you the message. It's that's the service of that person showing up in this version. Hey, you've got unprocessed shit to do. Okay, you've got something to process basically and to make peace with certain things. And then the same person will show up differently. That's just how it works. And it doesn't have to take years for you to go through it. This is why I did the research, so you don't have to. So you can just get into coaching and get it done in 2 to 3 months. Okay. Let me just read more comments. Are you French? No, I'm not, but I lived in France. You speak with a French accent? Yeah, I've been told this before that I have a little bit, but it's not on purpose. I've lived in France and Italy, so I don't know. Okay. No, not French, Russian. I'm Russian, Boris. Excuse me. Okay, the last part. So you remember we had point 1, 2, 3, 4. Pulling back and deciding he's absolutely miserable without you. That's exactly, or he or she, they will be absolutely miserable without you. And you know what? Can I tell you a secret? You will feel that misery. You will feel that fucking misery from across the world if that's where they are. Because you will feel this vibration. Being an empath comes with a lot of fucking blessings and gifts. Okay, you guys are geniuses. You just don't realize you're a genius in training, especially in my coaching, because right now you're using your gifts against yourself. But when you start using them for yourself, it's absolutely breathtaking what happens, because I coach people to pick up on other people's energies and realize that that's actually their energy. You don't need to make it your own. You will start feeling them. Oh shit, that misery that I feel coming on, that's so strange to me right now, that's theirs. Because you made that decision that they're miserable without me. They're going to come and apologize. They're going to conform. They're going to do whatever I want them to do without ever picking up the phone. Listen, picking up the phone and texting and calling and making all this effort that you've done before clearly hasn't worked and has backfired on you big time. Stop it. Start playing the game on another level. On another level. Become the magician of your life and never go back. Texting and calling and begging for attention is for amateurs. Okay, just understand that. It will never give you the results that you want. You really need to, again, put on your big girl or big boy pants and understand what you've been taught thus far. That it isn't about you. That what you say doesn't matter. Booba booba boo is reverse. Everything you want matters. But if you're acting less than and you feel like, excuse me, you feel like you need to keep reaching out, keep proving your worth, you're becoming worthless in their eyes. And anybody, you can spoil the most benevolent person, the most, positively inclined person with so much attempt in the 3D that it goes down in value, okay? Your attention goes down in value. Pull back, know your worth, okay? Let's see. Hold on, last point, and then I'm going to read the comments. Point number 5, but very last point, but certainly not least. Very important point. Listen only to love, okay? Which means when the fear shows up and starts fucking bombarding you from your old mama drama panorama, choose love. Replace it with a lovely thought. In other words, challenge the fear and prove it being nonsensical in your world. Yeah, I recognize you because this is what my mom used to tell me. Yeah, I recognize you. That's what my dad would say. Yeah, I recognize you. That's what my first asshole boyfriend would say. Ba 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 ba. You are not real. You're just a kind of phantom in the air that I have not processed yet. As long as the fear has an audience in you, it will continue showing up and running the show. This little morbid fear is working off of your energy. Cut the fucking energy from yourself and watch it die completely. It will put up a fight in the meantime, but as long as you're not giving it energy anymore and you're going the route of love and you're saying nice things about yourself and you're complimenting yourself and you're thinking nice things about what's possible for you and how this person is changing, how they're miserable without you, how they're choosing you, that's your fucking route. That's your reality. And then you will know exactly what to expect from that reality. Bingo. Okay, let's read the comments. Caroline Eyes. Bro. Okay. I feel that ever since I cut off toxic people. Don't bring old people back. They were left behind for a reason. Well, different people, different situations. Caroline Eyes. So let's just put that in perspective. Nudists over here in my chat. Okay, anybody has a question about their specific situation? Now is the time to ask. Really quick, because I know a lot of people are here now that weren't here prior. So to get into my coaching, you need to sign the coaching agreement. You guys know this. You need to print, okay? Print like as in on paper. The coaching agreement, it's 2 pages. You need to grab a pen, sign your name, print your name, and write the dates. You need to scan that document. It's a legal document. You need to take this seriously. Scan the document, send it to me in an email already signed, right, by hand. Or as an absolute last resort, I will accept a very clear picture of both pages. And the second thing that I really wanted to say is that after doing the math for you guys, in installment payments option, after doing the math and calculating what it would take for you to be in my coaching for 3 months, if you're going the installment route, let's just say you create an installment agreement for 3 years, okay, which is like nobody needs that, 36 months, right? It ends up being that as a total of 3 months worth of coaching with me in the signature package, you only end up paying less than $250 a month. A month. Now, couple that with the idea that everybody, absolutely everybody, manifests money in my coaching, especially those people who would initially complain to me and say, I don't have enough money, da da da, I have a fear of finances, blah, 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 blah. Understandably so, I'm not making fun of it, but that's, the beliefs that you're coming in with. This is why it's not just SP, it's everything. Okay, that's fine. You will still manifest the money, but even for your mind to relax right now, to get your coaching done in 3 months and pay $250 a month is so manageable, is beyond manageable. It's not even 1 hour. Like my 1 hour is almost $300. Okay, this is what I charge an hour. 250 is less than 1 hour of my time. So imagine how completely no excuses you should have after this. This is possible. You won't need it though. You will manifest the money. People come into my coaching. They always start out, some of them in the same way. They end up manifesting this money. Like, Anna, I don't know where this money came from. I have no idea. I just found it. It's just like out of the sky, it just pours down. I don't know how it works. It just works because I feel like, not for nothing, when you put your faith and when you act in faith and you put your faith in your own self, in your own self-development, the universe just assists you. That's it. It just goes with that tune. Okay, let's read some comments and then we'll wrap up. Fire Daddy Taro. Hello, hello. Eddie Glamo. How can you not how can you not taking in others' energy? It makes me tired. People get so egocentric because I'm a good listener or they love themselves in energy field, feel a little lost sometimes. Well, people can get egocentric all they want. It's up to you to people please or not. Maybe that's why you're tired. You need to know your limits. You need to respect your own energy, and then it's not, your energy will never get depleted. You will just know your limits. And it doesn't feel like you do right now, with all due respect. Fire Daddy Tarot. Looking for new streams to watch. Seems like a good vibe here. Thank you. Subscribe. Jeremy Jarreau. Hello. Hello. You are so pretty. Thank you. Seems to be the comment of the day. Anyway, I covered this live. If you have any questions about any of what I just said about the coaching, how to get in, understand that this is the only way that you will make progress. Okay, it will not be through watching videos, even my own. It's a whole other situation doing this one-on-one. Again, more than happy to help you in coaching. You understand how to get into it, but also just, understand that this is not a quick fix situation. This requires the deep dive that I do. And you will thank me later. You will understand how much more sense this makes because, again, this is an investment that pays tremendous dividends down the line. You would have jumped timelines with me. If you're able to be receptive, if you're able to be open and accepting suggestions and taking my guidance to heart, you will always succeed. Okay, but if you have resistance, if that's not your personality to take guidance, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I only work with people really well, with the kinds of people I work really well that are eager to change their life. They're eager to jump on board and really take my guidance. I've done this with thousands of people. So whatever story you're dealing with right now, trust me, I've dealt with it already. Been there, done that. Okay. All right. If nobody has any more questions, I will conclude. Thank you again so much for attending. Oh, 444. The time is 444 right now. What a magical time. It really is. Thank you, Katya, so much. Sorry for the mix-up. I'm sure we'll figure it out, or I will figure it out. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Please go back and rewatch. Kita, you look amazing, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending. Go rewatch. And as usual, I'll see you next time. Ciao, cacao. Big kiss.